and I'm here with Noella Benvenuti, the curator here at the Corona Heritage Museum. Noella, I understand that before you began your work here, you were a curator at the San Bernardino County Museum. How long have you been a curator?
Well, I started there in the 1980s, so I've worked there 15 years.
You lead a team of volunteers here to make sure things are properly documented and preserved. Can you tell me how that whole process works?
We start with getting the collections in. They have to be inventoried, cataloged, stored, and it depends on what the materials are. If they're paper things, they go in acid-free boxes and folders. If they're clothing, they get wrapped in acid-free tissue and boxes. And everything has a number, and everything is cataloged where it's supposed to be, so that if we want the object, we can find it by going to our catalog card.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges in developing and managing the Corona Heritage Museum?
I would say the first few months here, because the room was filled with objects, and there were very few pieces of paper saying where they came from. And so it was a lot of sorting and a lot of trying to figure out where things originated and what to do with them. Storage was minimal. Storage materials were non-existent, and there were no records, so we had to start from scratch.
With the huge variety of local artifacts you have here, I'll bet there are some collections that hold a particular meaning. Are there any pieces that hold special interest for you?
Well, I think probably our kaleidoscope collection, which was a really fantastic collection. We had a special exhibit on that. I had no idea what kaleidoscopes really did, except as a child I had a paper one. These were fantastic artifacts, and so those were a lot of fun to work with. And as you can see, we have a lot of historic things, and I like the toys and games, and those are fun for me.
Because of the limited space, I know the center room is used for rotating exhibits. Can you tell me about some of the exhibits you've had in the past and what you're working on now?
Let's see, we had, as I mentioned, the kaleidoscope collection, and we did small exhibits on Christmas things and Halloween things. We did a very large collection of cameras and photography. And what else did we do? Right now we're working on fashions. Our exhibit is opening tomorrow, and it's called From the Closet, 50 Years of Fashion. And so we have one more sign to put up, and one more piece of glass to clean, I think, and then we're finished.
How long and how many volunteers has it taken to put together the clothing exhibit?
It's taken quite a few volunteers. I probably have about 10, and they do a variety of things. They do the cataloging and the storing of the collections. From the concept to the finished product took a year and a half, with planning and trying to find the artifacts to fit the design, and so it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of teamwork. A lot of the ladies did sewing, put labels in things, and did the card catalog and helped with the text and steaming of the clothes and just little things, polishing the shoes. So.
Are there pieces in the clothing exhibit that you find particularly appealing?
I don't think there's any one thing that sticks in my mind as being the object. There are collections of objects. The kitchenware is really interesting to me, and as I mentioned, the games and toys. And I don't know if you've been in the company store.
I haven't yet.
Well, when you get a chance to go in, you'll see that it's supposed to be a representation of what this building used to be. This was a company store where the people who lived on the ranch would come and do their shopping, buy their groceries and their clothing, and so we wanted some representation of what that was like, and so that was a fun project to work on.
What would you say your favorite part about working here at the museum is?
I think the interaction with the volunteers. They're a wonderful group of people. We have lots of laughs, and it's fun.
All of this, and you still find time to travel. I've heard you've been to a lot of exotic countries. Can you tell me a little bit about your past itineraries?
Well, let's see. We've done all 7 continents.
Wow.
And maybe 85 countries. We've been to Africa and Egypt and Antarctica, Peru, Chile, South America, North America, Central America.
Do you find you're inspired when you go to other museums?
Oh,
in
absolutely.
The places you've been?
Yes. See, watch to see how did they get that to do that, and how are they putting those coins on the wall, and just their exhibit methods are really interesting to me.
In all of your faraway travels, what place do you remember the most?
Africa.
Africa, why is that?
Oh, the animals, the birds. That's fascinating. Antarctica was interesting. I was a little skeptical about that because of the cold, but it wasn't cold at all.
Really?
No, it was probably in the 30s, low 30s.
Oh.
And saw the penguins. I got to walk with the penguins. So that was interesting. That was fun. Peru, I like Machu Picchu. It was fantastic. Galapagos, Easter Island. I mean, they're all wonderful places and very different.
So, where will you and your husband be off to next?
In October, we're going to be going to India and Bhutan, Nepal, and Dubai.
Oh wow, that's a busy trip.
Yes, it will be. It's a long trip, and we don't usually like to be gone that long, but going that far, we figure we might as well make the best of it. I don't think we'll be going to that part of the world again.
Noella, it was so nice to get to meet you and talk to you today. I'm Shelby Oldham, and I'll see you next time on Isle of Corona. Thanks for watching. This programming has been made possible by the Corona Heritage Foundation for the history, art, and culture of Corona, California. Be sure to subscribe to Isle of Corona on YouTube and watch out for our next segment. I'm Shelby Oldham, and I love Corona.